Hey everybody, welcome to the Hamakua Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today we are participating in Mrs. Wages Week. During this week, you have 8 channels bringing you loads and loads of Mrs. Wages content. We are bringing you all kinds of different recipes made from Mrs. Wages packets. Some of these you may have already tasted and tried. Some of them you might not have even known existed. So make sure that you check out the description box below. All of the channels that are participating will be down there. And they are going to be coming at you with all kinds of really cool videos. In today's video, we are making dill pickles. I have to admit that this is my first time using Mrs. Wages. But from what I hear, it is super easy and extra tasty. So for today, all we need is cucumbers, vinegar, water, and this handy little packet. The first thing you want to do is wash your cucumbers. After you have washed your 9 to 11 pounds of pickling cucumbers, you're going to go ahead and cut off the blossom end and throw that part out. If you are unaware, the blossom end is the one that you want to cut off, which is the end where the stem was not growing out. So this is going to be your stem end, and this is going to be your blossom end. You can leave the cucumbers whole, you can slice them, or you can cut them into spears. Today we're going to go ahead and leave them whole. After you've cut off the end, you're just going to go ahead and fill up your jar. We're leaving these guys whole. So we're just going to go ahead and fill up our jars as best we can with the shapes of the cucumbers we have, because you know every cucumber is not made equally. The one thing you do have to watch out for is headspace. We're going to make sure that we stay below our 1/2 inch headspace. And with this one, the packet said 9 to 11 pounds of cucumbers. So I bought 11 pounds of cucumbers. And honestly, I think I might end up with more than just the 7 quarts. So I'm gonna start with just sticking with cucumbers that I know are gonna fit in the jar, and then leave the ones that are a little too tall out, and we'll work with those later if we do need them. So we have our jars all filled up, ready to go. I have 7 quart jars here, which is what the recipe calls for. And I ended up using about 8 pounds of cucumbers. Then into a large pot, you're gonna go ahead and combine your vinegar. That's gonna be 3 1/3 cup. Make sure that you are checking the vinegar that you're using. Some of the packages look exactly the same, but some are 4% and some are 5% acidity. Make sure you're using 5%. 7 1/3 cup of water. And your Mrs. Wages packet. Combine those and bring them up to a boil over medium heat. Stirring constantly until the mixture has dissolved. While that is happening, we're gonna go ahead and get our water bath canner started heating up, because this is a lot of water. It is gonna take a while to fill this up and get it hot. So we're gonna get started on that now. I would like to just point out how delicious this smells already. It's not even hot yet, and it smells so good. You can see the turmeric in there, and you can smell the garlic. Then go ahead and remove it from the heat. Now that our brine is nice and hot and everything is dissolved, and it looks like the garlic and a few other things, the turmeric has reconstituted as well. So we're gonna go ahead and ladle the brine right into our jar, and we're gonna do a 1/2 inch headspace. Now these pickles are jam-packed in here pretty tight. But we're gonna wanna go ahead and try to debubble anyways as much as we can. Kind of push it around a little bit just to make sure there's no air pockets down in there. That might be difficult with them packed in so tightly. So that part of the process is done. We have our jars all filled up, debubbled. So now we're gonna go ahead and clean off the rims and get our lids on. Go ahead and wipe off the rim of your jars so you don't have any debris interfering. Lids on, secure your lid. And you're just gonna go ahead and make sure you have a rack on the bottom underneath so you don't have your glass touching the bottom of your pot. Now you will notice that the water level is just coming to the tops of the jars right now. I need to add more water because I have to have it at least an inch. I like to do 2 inches above the lids so that it is completely submerged and there's room for it to come to a rolling boil. And that's all we need to do for now. We're just gonna go ahead and let this big huge pot come up to a full rolling boil. Now that we're at a full rolling boil, we're going to set our timer for 15 minutes. Make sure it is full rolling hardcore boil. All right, so our time is up. We're just going to go ahead and turn off the heat and we're going to wait. We're just going to go ahead and take this lid off. And then we're going to wait at least a good 5, maybe 10 minutes. Now that it's had a chance to kind of come down from temperature a little bit on its own, now we're gonna go ahead and take our jars out. All right, so for now, I'm gonna go ahead and leave them here for the next up to 24 hours, and then I'm gonna label the jars and put them up on the pantry shelf. I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks, let it pickle, let it do its thing, and then we'll come back and we're gonna taste them. Pickle time, pickle time, pickle time. It's pickle time. It's pickle time. I love pickles, I love pickles. All right, so it has been about 2.5 weeks and it's time for a taste test. Yes, yes. I almost offered for you guys to smell it. Ooh, okay. This is my first time making pickles. I'm so excited. It's really squishy. Oh no. The flavor is really nice. Okay. It's like really, really squishy. Okay. Well, darn it, that's really disappointing. I'm not sure why that happened. I would think that the pickle crisp or whatever thing it is that they put into the Mrs. Wages packet would have been sufficient. It's like extra squishy. But okay, let's focus on the flavor now. The brine is really, really yummy. I like it a lot. I'm just distracted by the squishiness. Yeah, like I said, the flavoring is really, really good. I'll have to do some research and figure out why they're squishy, mushy almost. They're so squishy, they're almost mushy, honestly. If I am able to figure out any reason why they are so mushy, I will definitely pin a comment down below so you guys will know the answer as well. I wasn't expecting that. Well, they certainly are not going to go to waste. We will, you know, slice them up, put them on burgers. I'll probably just snack on them regardless, but don't forget to go check out all the other channels that are participating in Mrs. Wages Week. Ding! Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hamakua Homestead. I'll see you again soon.